Hey there, fellow Dice Masters. Welcome back to DM Dice Masters. This is Diane. Today I wanted to talk about a draft that we held yesterday at my local gaming store. We drafted the new set, Marvel Civil War, and I just wanted to take some time to share with you how the event went. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I try to look out for during the drafting process. First up, we have the purchase cost of the characters. This is especially important in draft because without access to certain cards like Professor X and his global, it can be harder to ramp up to those higher cost characters. Next thing I try to look out for are the fielding cost of the characters. I don't want to have to spend energy needlessly just to try to field characters. And finally, the last thing I try to keep an eye out for is a win condition. This will be the thing that will help me win the game, hopefully. Okay, so utilizing those tips that I just mentioned, this is the final team that I came up with. First up on the team, we have Maria Hill, the common, AntMan, rare, Rescue, common, Bullseye, common, Ronan, uncommon, Wasp, common, Venom, uncommon, and finishing up the team, She-Hulk, common. So I did pretty well in the event yesterday. I ended up winning the whole thing, went 3-0. And I just wanted to point out my MVPs for the evening. Let's see if we can get it without a glare. These guys were my bread and butter and jelly. They ended up doing a lot of work for me and ended up helping me win the title. So going back to my win condition, they wore the rare AntMan. This is the one that when he attacks, he may only be blocked by level 1 character dice. Early on, I tried to rush him, get him out, and just push him through as quickly as possible when my opponent only had a few fielded characters. And my hope was that early on, some of those characters would be, level 2 or level 3. And he did some pretty good work for me. Next up is Venom. This guy was great. Once I got him in the field, my opponent couldn't field any more sidekicks without paying an energy to field them, and that was quite taxing. And it really hurts your opponent in drafts because not being able to field those sidekicks can be quite annoying. Also, too, I got to punish my opponent when I fielded my sidekicks. So every time I fielded a sidekick, I would just ding my opponent for a damage. This is great towards the middle or end of the match when we start building up our walls and we need to find a way to try to get that extra damage through to our opponent. Now I know right now everyone is singing the praises of the super rare Ronan, but for me, during my draft, the uncommon Ronan was a hero. He saved me a few times when I didn't have enough characters to block my opponent and a big guy would try to come through. All I would do is just KO my Ronan and that damage was nil. Now I didn't play this guy, but one of my opponents did. This is the common Speedball, Robbie Baldwin, and he says when Speedball is dealt damage, or combat damage, deal damage to each other character die equal to the amount of damage done to Speedball. Now, it's not so great for attacking, but as a defender, he's awesome. It makes your opponent think twice about swinging in, and I know it did that to me a few times because I didn't want to have my field cleared out just for my opponent to come back in and, swing in for lethal against me. So there you have it, fellow Dice Masters. That is a brief recap of the draft event that we did yesterday, and I hope maybe you found some of the information informative, and thank you for watching. Again, I am Diane, and until next time, this is DM Dice Masters, and take care.